bringing you fishing tips, gear reviews, tournament news, and more. Featured guests from all over the nation. Now, 1 hour of live streaming via Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Here's your host, John Rapp. Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. We're all unfiltered, straight talk, straight from West Virginia to the World Wide Web. We've got a great lineup tonight. Nothing absolutely new, nothing but the information is. Some of these guys you're familiar with. We've had them on the show before. We've got Brian Schiller back from Paddle and Fin. He's got some exciting news for us and something that we can all get involved in and outside of fishing. I know my boys from Guggen Brothers up there, they're into that fantasy stuff. I think they will like what Brian's got up his sleeve. And then we got Chris Payne all decked out on the side of the road. He's hanging out. So let's get ready to get this thing rolling. But before, a quick break.
Payne Outdoors, straight talk, an outdoor product analyst and custom soft plastic maker. Check out our reviews and products at our website at payneoutdoors.com.
Feel free kayaks, something for everyone. Pedal, paddle, or power, we can outfit you to meet your needs. For more information, visit feelfreeus.com.
Kayak Gadget offers all kinds of kayak accessories such as motor mounts, anchor systems, and other track-based items to make your time more enjoyable on the water. Visit their Facebook page, search Yak Gadget.
Guggen Brothers Custom Tackle specializes in jigs and Ned-style lures. Brothers who know what it takes to put fish in the boat. Check out their Facebook page, search Guggen Brothers Custom Tackle.
Payne Outdoors.
All right, we're back. Hey, we've got Brian Schiller in the house, and we're going to bring him up here in just a second. We're going to talk about Paddle and Fin. Very good friends of ours from up in the north, Wisconsin, Illinois. They cover the nation. If you haven't checked out Paddle and Fin, their link will be in the show here, so go look them up. They've got a network of kayak anglers. Not only stateside, not only bass, but also we're talking salt. They have a salt series. Brian has established a great group of anglers to do something every day on their network. So Paddle and Fin. So let's bring on Brian Schiller and let him explain to us some stuff about what he's got going on. Brian, welcome in, baby. Welcome to the house.
What's up, Big Daddy? How you doing, man?
Good, buddy. So, man, lots of great things that you've got going on. I mean, the shows, Waypoint. I mean, all the new stuff that you're putting out. But it looks like this year you have decided to slow down a little bit on throwing tournaments together from last year, and looks like you're getting into the fantasy game. So for our folks here in West Virginia, tell them a little bit about what you got going on.
Yeah, man. 2 years ago, Drew Gregory and Ken Morris, threw together this fantasy kayak fishing game, and a lot like fantasy football, fantasy baseball, all that. But we kind of took it to the next level this season. So Drew and Ken started that, and they've kindly handed it off to us, and we've kind of stepped it up and taken it to the next level. So this year is a lot different compared to the previous 2 years. The previous 2 years they had it set up where you would pick up to 6 anglers. That was your roster. It was set, and then that was it. Whereas this year, it includes the 3 major kayak trails, KBF, Hobie, BOS, and the BASS series. and there's 30 tournaments total between those three trips, and you can set your roster and change out players throughout the season and have a fresh new set of players as you're going along. You know, we all know, we've been around the kayak world for a while, and those that haven't may not know. You know, some guys are dedicated to fishing only KBF or only Hobie or only the Bass Organization Trail Series. So, you know, each weekend there's a different tournament by one of those organizations. So now you can change it up instead of having a player basically sitting on the bench because they're not fishing that series, so to speak.
Right.
So it's a little bit more engaging. And then what we did is we took the season and we broke it up into 4 quarters. So we'll have winners for each quarter and then overall winners. So each quarter, the top 2 are going to win some prizes from Pelican and some other sponsors. And then the top 10 overall are going to win some really nice prizes. So Adam Reiser won last season, and he got a $500 prize pack, you know, that's being sent to him for all that good stuff from last year when Drew was running it. We kind of helped out with the behind-the-scenes stuff middle of last summer, and then, you know, this year we kind of took it to the next level and kind of reformatted the whole game.
So what I've done here, buddy, I've moved you down below me on the screen, and I've got your Facebook page, or not, your website up, and I was going to show them like you did on your podcast last night. So if you guys want to go look this up, go to paddleandfin.com. It's the 3rd tab over. It's Fantasy Kayak.
Yep. Or
okay.
You go just straight to paddleandfin.com/fantasy. It'll get you to the same landing point. But if you want to pull that up, John, I can see what you're doing because I got my cell phone on right here. So as you scroll down, obviously there's the logo at the top there, but right away, if you want to sign up, there's a link. You can click right on that link below the logo, and that'll take you right to the site where you can sign up. And then, you know, below that, we have all the rules in an explanation of the game. You know, one of the cool things is you know, you could sign up for your individual team, but, you know, for instance, you know, John or, you know, West Virginia kayak anglers can have their own game within the game. So you can create your own group in that fantasizer, you know, for the fantasy kayak fishing, and then you create a public account to join the actual paddle and fin competition. And you know, again, you can pick and choose your players. You know, if Rusty Hook wanted to start their own group and competitive thing, or if, you know, you got 10 fishing buddies and you guys all want to jump in and put $5 on it, you could, you know, create your own group thing.
So create your own league, the Rusty Hook League. I got you. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I've got
cool.
I've got here on the screen now. I don't know if it's caught up to you yet since there's that delay, but there's the spreadsheet, and people are going to want to know how you got the names that you've already got on there. So
Sure.
Won't you go ahead and explain to them how that works so far to this today?
So Susie Roloff is the queen of spreadsheets, and you know, when we took over the game last season, she created this spreadsheet, and it basically tracks every event from last season that counted. It'll show the angler's name, what event they won their money on. You know, like towards the top, you'll see like KBF Trail 1 and 2, Hobie BOS at this lake, so on and so forth. And then when you scroll all the way over to the right, it'll show you what those players earned last season. So
now,
like,
that's where I wanted you to go, brother. So people say kayak fishing. I've been in it. Chris is in the background, but he may speak up when he hears what we're about to say. You know, 5 years ago at the first KBF event in Tennessee, or 6 years ago, Nick won, I think, like $7,000 with sponsorship money. That was one of the biggest payouts we had in kayak fishing. Now, you're looking at Guillermo Gonzalez made $70,000 last year. $70,000. So I'm curious. Is there a total at the bottom of all the money that was paid out just on those 3 trails last year?
I don't.
If she did,
so.
I doubt it too. But I'm just looking at.
I think Susie may have that number, but I don't think it shows on that spreadsheet. But it's quite a bit of coin, because as you scroll down, like Christine Fisher won, I think it was like 48,000.
Yeah, Russ Snyder's is 44.
Yeah.
I mean, your top 5 guys are over $27,000. You know.
Sure.
So that's impressive.
And then to the right of that earning, right? So what we wanted to do is, because last year the way that Drew and Ken had the salaries set was in a way that you could pick out 6 or 7 hammers, right? You could pick out Christine Fisher, Guillermo, Cody Milton, Russ Snyders, and whoever else on your team. So this year we made it a little difficult. So when you're in the game, you have a $50,000 salary cap per week.
I like it. Definitely.
And Guillermo, because he was the highest earning player for last year,
right?
He got set at the dead top, which is half of that, $25K. So you can't stack your team full of folks.
Right.
The one question we did get quite a bit as we released this was, do I have to have 6 players, or can I put all my chips on 2 anglers? Absolutely, you can. But you are allowed to have up to 6 players on your team, and as little as 1 or 2. I mean, you got the money there to spend for 2. You might as well.
Okay, so let's for my viewers here, if you're take the opportunity to scroll through that spreadsheet, I'll save you the time. I did it earlier today. So the most valuable West Virginia guy, or West guy that fishes in our area, is Jody Queen. He's going to cost you $23,000 to pick on your team. The next guy is Matt Ball at $18,000. The Isaacs are 16 and 12. Rick Garvalia, a frequent guest and contributor to this podcast, is right under $10,000. Greg Harper, a neighbor of mine down the road, is at $7,000. Josh Poling up Morgantown and Mark Edwards both made the list at $5,000, 5,000 points, whatever, to make your team. So you can see, fellas, guys, gals, viewers from West Virginia area, we got people on West Virginia on there. And prior to the show, Brian was telling me that that's not all that you can do. Like, we got a bunch of boys going to Kissimmee here in a few weeks to fish. We might want to put them on there. So, if you want to be added to the fantasy, how do we do that?
So you can email fantasykayak@gmail.com or paddleandfin@gmail.com. Give us the name of the player and where they're from, and we can add them to the list. We started the list is comprised of all the people that cashed checks last year.
Outstanding.
But obviously, what makes it interesting is, you can follow along with these anglers. It's bringing more spotlight to them, more spotlight to the trails, because guys and gals are going to be wanting to look up to see how their anglers are doing in the tournament, and it's just good all around for the sport. So if your angler's not in there, but say me, and you're following my Facebook and you see during pre-fishing I'm crushing fish at Kissimmee, well, you can add me to your team, but at the same time, we all know tournaments are won during pre-fishing, right? When it comes to the tournament, you're not catching any fish, so it's a double-edged sword, right? But you can email us. We'll add that player to the list. We've already got some submissions since we launched this yesterday. for this specific Kissimmee event, Kayak Anglers of Florida, they know a couple of their guys are going, so they wanted to add them to the roster, so they're getting added to the roster today. And each week or before each event, you have up till Friday night at 10 p.m. to set your roster before the tournament starts. So, definitely email us before Friday night at 8 p.m. if you want your angler added, because there's a chance it won't get added, with 2 hours left before lockdown. But, if so-and-so is local from the area and you see that he signed up on Tourney X or Fishing Chaos, email us, if it's a local guy or something like that, and then what it's going to help us do is keep compiling this list of anglers that are competing at the national level, so we have a database to build off of. Once it's on that list and in that spreadsheet, it's going to be there for each season to come. So the more names we get added to the list, the better. So that way we have a really good database for years to come. And I know.
Hey guys, so if you're looking to add something like this to your smartphone, go and download the app Fantasizer, and you can manage your league right from your phone while at work. Yep. So, Fantasizer.
Yeah, you could do it straight from your phone, a desktop, and all that good stuff. And looking towards the future, the Midwest kind of got screwed on national events. So what we're looking at doing is next year add in All-American Kayak Series to this mix, as well as 2 of the California trails as well. So that way we got love all across the country, and we got the major trails in the country all in the database and in the game. So that way, as we're going throughout the season, you have multiple events to choose from and things like that, so you can strategize and things like that throughout the season. And that's the thing too, right? Like last year, if you signed up in the first 4 events, your team did horrible. A lot of guys were like, oh man, I got no chance. Well, now with the new format, we got 4 separate quarters. So if you bomb the first quarter, no big deal. Everybody starts over fresh come second quarter. And you could crush it second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and still win overall. So,
and like you said earlier, you can change your roster each week, week to week, where last year you couldn't do that. So
yeah, correct. So, it was basically set it and forget it. So now we made it a lot more interactive, and it should hopefully bring more attraction to paying attention to these events, the anglers competing in them, and the trails putting them on.
Well, here's the thing. What you're doing and what people are going to realize real soon is that this is going to be a database that can be used to show not only earnings, rankings, but it can also be used as a power index too.
Sure.
So are you going to try to incorporate other locals, like the bigger clubs in the States? Are you going to add them and then maybe mix in them numbers? I can see, I don't know who your programmer is. I know Susie Q is your statistician, but sure. Man, you have a load of good data to play with there.
Yeah, I don't know that will include some of those smaller clubs in the actual fantasy game, maybe for an all-time money list.
Yeah.
For yearly earnings. So we had a panel of folks that we put together to come up with the salaries for each player. A lot of it was focused on their earnings for last year, but it was also, we used the KBN power rankings. We put that into play. And then not only that, but past history too, some folks were questioning why certain anglers were more than others, and that's because obviously, in the past they've done really well. They may have had a bad year, coming into this year,
Well, yeah, and you know what? It's not going to be perfect, but it's a starting point, and I think what you're doing is outstanding. Hey, let's take a quick break, come back, and let's bring on Chris Payne with us to talk about this.
This episode is sponsored by our friends at Payne Outdoors. No nonsense, straight talk, outdoor analyst, and custom plastics. Guggen Brothers Custom Tackle, custom made jigs and Ned rigs. Feel free kayaks. Pedal, paddle, or power, there's something for everyone. And Yak Gadget, proudly supplying you with American-made kayak fishing accessories and gear. Now, let's join our host, John Rapp.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast. Hey, we just spent 20 minutes talking with Brian. Man, talking fantasy fishing. It's exciting. What he has got started up there, or actually what he is rolling with and making even better from what Drew and Ken started with the past couple years. But we got a good friend of ours on the show here, sitting in the vehicle, looking all spiffy with his blue shirt, tie on, gray jacket. So let's bring this big daddy on. Hey, Big Daddy, what's going on?
What's going on?
Chris Payne in the house, looking sharp, man, looking sharp. So it's a stark contrast between what you're wearing there and the apron in the garage, you know.
You know, I got that bait making money now. So.
Hey, man. So hey, appreciate you hanging back. Thought we'd bring you on real quick. Get your thoughts with Brian on this fantasy fishing thing. So I'm gonna bring Brian back on with you, and let's do it. Brian, you guys are together here, man. So rock and roll. Finish off with what you were thinking there a minute ago.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is, at the end of each quarter, we're gonna kind of elaborate and probably adjust some salaries here or there. Obviously, players are going to get injured throughout the season. So, like right now, Brad Case was planning on going down and fishing the 10 Invitational and all that. Hope he's resting up and healing well. But
speedy recovery, brother. Yeah,
he's going to be out for a few weeks to maybe possibly months. So, his salary may drop, and then like last year, we saw Ewing Minor come out of left field and just start crushing on the national scene. So, obviously a guy like that comes out swinging for the fences after Q1, we may have to adjust, his salary and boost that up. And, anybody that cashes in an event that's not already on the list, they'll get added and, reevaluated each quarter and throughout the season.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, don't change it midstream, but definitely when you start a new quarter, you start a new purchase price. So, yeah, I like that. I like that, man. Awesome. Chris, you got anything in there, buddy, you want to talk about? Or what are you thinking?
It sounds like a fantastic platform. I love the weekly changes. It keeps people engaged. Hell, that's the reason I watch most of the football games I watch. I'm a Steelers fan, but I don't get a ton of Steelers games down here in Texas. And so a lot of times I'll end up watching, Rams Cardinals or something like that because I've got Cooper Kupp or I've got Matt Stafford or I've got Sony Michel or something like that. And so I think this is a good way to help get folks who are not fishing national trails to really understand what the national trails look like and how those guys fish, and have a better idea of who the top anglers are. It's not just their local guys that are always winning their stuff. It might be some local guys who are going, 9 states over and beating guys who are in their backyard. Like that carries a lot of weight.
Hey, Brian, when you guys add Storm Carver and Mikey Holcomb to your list, don't put them at the $5,000 mark. Put them at about like 15, because I know Chris is going to buy them, and I want him to spend up his points so I can.
And one of my guys. my guys. Man, let me tell you, if I'm buying points, I'm buying Storm.
Yeah.
I'm buying Mike. I'm buying Ricky.
Yeah.
I'm buying Jody and Matt. And I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get all of those guys in there. So
Yeah,
you might could put a couple in at $2,000. I'd
yeah,
be okay with
man.
that.
Yeah, so, or you put me in it free. Put me in it free.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you know,
I had Susie add me in because I'm going to fish the Kissimmee event, and she's like, "What should I put you at? 50 cents?" And I was like, "That's fair, you know."
Yeah. Hey, for 50 cents, man, you're a value. I'd pick you on my team, every bit of it.
oh, you never know.
Yeah.
Well,
Never know.
I know when we launched it last night, Catherine Field was watching, and she's like, "I'm cheap right now," or something along those lines, because she did really well for herself last season. She cashed a few checks in a few different events. And that's just it. There's some value buys out there. Like, for instance, Casey Reed wasn't on the list. He didn't cash in any of the national events last year. So right now he's sitting at 5,000. So
Yeah.
and
That's a good one.
yeah, and he signed up to go to Kissimmee. So I actually put him on my team last night. I was like, I gotta scoop him up. Same thing with Jim Ware. Jim Ware's from the South. He's going down. You could always count on him being towards the top, so I picked him up, and I think he was at like 5,800. So again, it's fun, it's strategy, it's a talking conversation amongst friends, like we're doing now. We're talking about this event.
Well, I mean, I've ran leagues over the years. Jack Gillespie's run leagues with the state police office. I mean, we've had leagues. We even had a league with our West Virginia Kayak Anglers Club, using football to do our leagues. But now, I mean, why not even bother doing something like this? So we got, Jody Queen says $50. Yeah, right. Casey's a stick, finished 11th, just out of the 10. We got Aaron Lee. Now Aaron Lee just got getting back into the fishing scene, moved in from DC back to West Virginia. He keep an eye on him. We got Nick Beltron's made a comment. Stormy Carver's up here. Randy Newton said we are ready for fantasy fishing in Florida. So hey guys, thanks for tuning in, watching, talking with us. Glad you're participating in the conversation. So who is your team, Brian? Who did you pick? We know two of them off the top of your head.
Yeah, I know I got Casey Reed, Catherine Field, myself. Jeez, I didn't know you were going to put me on the spot.
Oh, no worries, man. I mean, there's so
I
many
can pull
names
it
on
up.
there. I know there's so many names on there. It'd be easy for you to say, well, I thought I chose that one. But, when you got that money pool in there, you were like, I was going to pick that one, but he was $1,000 out of my limit. So, I totally get it.
I want to say I did put Jody on my team, but I could be wrong. Sorry, Jody.
Jody will be my first pick. Sorry, Jody Queen. Even if you're 25,000 or 50, you're going to be my number one pick. And I know Chris, Stormy Carver. I'm picking Stormy Carver. Yeah,
I got Catherine Field, Gene Jensen, Jim Ware, myself, Casey Reed, and Ken Wood.
That's a good team. That's a solid team right there.
All but one of them. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a solid team.
To guess which one.
Yeah. So Jody says, guys, if y'all are watching, watch for a Cody Henley. So I'm gonna have to go do a little Facebook stalking on this young man and see what he's all about. So yeah.
Man. You see those names and you start looking around and looking, and that's the thing too. You got a tournament coming up that's on a river. You're going to start looking for those river guys like Jim Ware, the River Goat.
Yeah.
You got guys that are known for electronics and offshore stuff. You're going to pick Adam Reiser, right? It's things like that. Getting to know these anglers, what they're good at, and it's going to make for an interesting season. For the fantasy and for these guys fishing.
Well, we got go ahead, Chris.
I was going to give everybody one tip. for the Texas tournaments this year that show up, you better buy Matt Scotch.
Matt?
Like, I love Guillermo to death, but I have been a tournament director of too many Texas tournaments, and Matt is first, second, or third at every single event.
One.
If you want to win that week, you better have Matt Scotch on your team.
What is his value? I'll have to go look. We have to go look at that.
He's up there at the top. He's in the 20-some thousand range.
Okay.
He and G. Yeah. He and G, man, they're on another level in this state. Just another level. There's a lot of dudes that pretend that they're up there, but Matt and G, they just put in the work. And what's even unfair is, I don't know if they still are, but at one point in time they were roommates. You want to talk about a powerhouse?
Yeah.
Like, jeez. More fishing power in that one little house than there is in a lot of counties.
Yeah.
So I just want to follow them to where they go eat lunch, eat dinner and all that, and touch their seat and touch the try to absorb some of that knowledge osmosis wise, so I can have some of that power when they go out, when they're not on the water, and I am.
And that's the other thing is, Matt was a full-time chef for a long time before, and then he kind of went half-time to kayak fish more. Now I think he's just doing kayak fishing, but Matt was like a legit chef. Like, his stuff was fantastic, and I was just like, man, I know where Guillermo want to live with him.
Yeah.
It's like 5-star restaurant every night. Hey, I'm gonna whip up something. Okay.
That's like, I saw a guy, it was advertised he was going to kiss me, and he was like, or however you say it, Brian, but he was like, man, I'm looking for a place to go and looking for a place to stay, and then he did like his little resume. Doesn't snore, has money. It's like,
Lies.
But can't cook. And is like looking for roommates that can cook, cook, don't snore. I mean, I fell over laughing reading it.
I think he had guaranteed to have beer.
Yeah.
I
was like,
there you go.
I almost typed in there, buddy, if you had moonshine, I'm on the way. Yeah, So what do you guys think down in Florida, Kissimmee? I'm not familiar with that water, Brian. You're getting ready to go. What kind of research have you done to make yourself familiar with it?
I've done quite a bit. I haven't fished in Florida, probably for 15, 17 years. I haven't been down there fishing. But it's going to be interesting because it's been really warm. And they got a cold front about to move through, so that's gonna set some stuff off. I know there was some fish that were potentially spawning or getting ready to spawn in the front.
I got information they were on beds. And Jody Queen, if you're still on here, I don't know. I don't think you have your home down there anymore, but he could probably verify. I got info that they were actually getting ready to start to spawn. So if that's the case, you could have a move in, move out type thing coming in. First wave, second wave.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what you're going to run into. I don't think all the fish were up there, fully ready to go. I mean, they do have the full moon.
Yesterday?
Thursday, I think. Was it yesterday?
I don't know. It's been pretty big lately.
Yeah, I know it's this week, so it's going to be interesting. I think you're going to have 2 waves. And you're going to have those fish out getting ready to chomp down post-spawn, and then you're going to have some that are up on beds as well, depending on what lake and where in the lake you're at. So
that's true.
It could be interesting, man. I mean, I think there will be, some big fish caught for sure, some big females.
Okay, little info for you.
It's matter of finding 5 of them.
If you're watching, Jody is still here with us. He did say Matt was guiding some, so Matt's supplementing some money there. But and that Matt was teaching G how to cook. So, but he said that dredging between Toho and Cypress and water levels were low recently, and that there will be another wave. So pretty much that info on the spawn must be accurate. So yeah, you guys that are getting ready to pack your bags, you might want to put your big old what is that thing that you make that you call your Chris? Oh shit, the murder hornet.
Murder hornets.
The murder hornet.
Grapple grubs.
Yeah, I mean, put that on a heavy weight and drag it across the bed and let them
piss them off.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Johnny Cart, welcome to the show, bro. Thanks for joining us. Anthony Fitzgerald, thank you, brother. Go ahead.
I think, the key for a lot of these guys that are up north is, depending on how far north you are of the Mason-Dixon, you need to be fishing that kind of 3-week period, and whatever your sweet spot is, where it's pre-spawn, spawn, and post-spawn. Down in Florida is what it sounds like, because during spawn down here in the South, we have floods of, it'll be like today, right? Today it's 75 degrees here. It is 70 degrees in Texas right now, right at this moment. In 2 days, the high is going to be 38, right? And it goes in those waves, but it's not enough to cool off the water temperature more than a couple degrees, because it's only 1 or 2 days and then it moves out and then the sun's back and it reheats.
Right.
And in those shallower water things, if they're already on the spawn, you've already got water temp that's 62, 63, 65 degrees. And so it may drop to 60. 60 is not unheard of for bass to spawn in. And if anything, it'll push them back to pre-spawn areas that is going to group them up a little more, instead of them being quite so scattered. And so good electronics and being able to really locate fish in the pre-fishing. Hopefully people are getting some pre-fishing done. That's going to be key to be able to knock this out, because if you go in fishing blind, you're going to be a blind squirrel looking for a nut. That's it.
Well, that's me all the time. Boy, it got quiet there. Jody said we're going to need some warm nights to put them on the beds down there. So I guess guys better start watching the weather for the evenings and late times. Does Texas have gauges down there? Do they have water temperature gauges for you guys to read?
Yeah, Texas Parks and Wildlife posts every lake that we have on their website once a week.
Yeah, good. So I guess that would be something that guys would need to look at in Florida. Watch water temperatures, water levels, watch rain amounts, so you can see where, how the water, what's coming in and what's. So yeah, but it's all science, man, and luck, and how you hold your jaw and stuff like that.
Luck is just preparation plus opportunity.
I like that.
That's it.
Like it,
man. Hey guys, Brian.
Yeah.
So this has been a great show, man. A lot of great info on the Paddle and Fin Fantasy Fishing League, fantasy fishing information. So, guys, if you're just watching, Brian Schiller to the left, Chris Payne to the right, and tonight's episode's been on the Fantasy Fishing League that Brian is running this year, based off the top 3 trails. So, if you're fishing a KBF event, a Hobie event, or BASS event, and you could be in fantasy fishing, and I could pick you. Chris or Brian could pick you. So make sure that you jump on board with the guys here and do this. It looks like it could be a lot of fun. That's follow along, man. Help me out. Help a brother out. What we can end the show there. We can talk a little bit more about it, Brian. What else you got, Chris? Final thoughts?
No, I think I'm good. But if anybody's got any questions out there, I would say just refer back to the website paddleandfin.com/fantasy. And if you got any questions, or again you want to see a player added to that roster, just email us at fantasykayak@gmail.com.
Boom. What do you think, Chris?
I think strategy is going to come into this fantasy this year, so you are going to need to do a little research, because in its infancy, I'm going to assume it doesn't say if somebody is active for a tournament or not on the fantasy thing. And so if it does, I'm sorry.
I guess you have to go to what's that program they're using? Tourney X or
Tourney X or Fishing Chaos,
and check and see if they're registered.
Yeah. So check registrations, and then I would check social media feeds for people you're thinking of buying, especially the more expensive ones, and see if they're already down there pre-fishing or talking about things like that. And then if somebody is down there and they've posted once and then they don't post for the 3 days before the tournament, that's probably a pretty good buy.
Hey, Brian, I'm sure you read that, but Jody's leaving in the morning, headed south.
I will be leaving early next week, so I'll see you down there, Jody. I'll buy you a beer.
And Texas Bass Fishing rocks. They take care of their fisheries, according to Jody Queen. Chris?
Agree. Texas Share Lunker program. OHIV has pumped out a 15 and 2 14s already this year.
Dang.
Yeah, boy. You want to catch a giant?
Yeah. I guess I'm going to have to make a drive.
Yep. Come on out. You need to plan 2 weeks. That way you can fish Fort, you can fish Toledo, you can fish Sam Rayburn, and then you can make it out to OHIV.
I got you. Well, guys, God bless you. Thank you. We're going to wrap up early tonight.
I appreciate it.
Hey, man, anytime. You know, the Rusty Hook is always available and willing to chat with my podfather from the Paddle and Fin.
I thought we were going to get through one show without that. Dude.
You were so close.
No, man. No way, buddy. The podfather. I didn't get my honored in there, but yeah, man. So yeah, have we heard anything more on the Paddle and Fin Tennessee trip, April 1st? Has that made it to Tourney X yet?
That's on Susie's to-do list this week. She was trying to get everything squared away for the fantasy. She does a lot of the back end work, so huge shout out to Susie Roloff, who she's the one that's going to typically be answering those emails that you guys send and getting names updated to the roster. She's the one that communicates with all the, people from the different trails as far as getting payouts and being able to get the list updated and all that stuff. So that's on her list of things to do. That should be live by your show next week. So I'll shoot you a text and let you know as soon as it's up, but that is a 100% go.
And are we sharing that, or is that just you?
What's
that? Is that going to be with another Tennessee group, or are you guys doing that on your own?
Yeah, there's one Tennessee group that we're partnered up with for that one. I think there was talk of a second one. I'll have to talk to the guys that have been working on that. But I know there's one local club there for sure that they're going to be participating in this, doing it as a joint thing. It's a 2-day tournament, $80 entry fee, and we'll be down there at Eastport, and the spread down there, and they take care of us well.
So, West Virginia boys, all you guys that are watching, Jody Queen, before you leave, mark your calendar for a fun event. And let's go to Dale Holla and do a little fishing with the Paddle and Fin boys. West Virginia kayak anglers, if you want to stay on the water, you can rent they have those big houseboats, and unless he's got something already planned out or booked up, I mean, he also will rent rooms on the boats. So it is, at the farm is nice where we hold the check-in and check-out. It's a good time. I highly recommend it. If you don't believe me, talk to John Gillespie down in Princeton. And Jody Queen, we'd love to see you down there. I would love to have you for 3 or 4 days, just where we can pick your brain and learn from you. But Dale Holla, April 1st. It's the week after the Hobie event at Santee. Or I think it's somewhere. It's mixed in there. So look it up. Yeah. Watch for it on Tourney X. I believe it'll be on Tourney X. So, but we will post something here.
the event will be on Tourney X, and you can just go search paddle, the letter N, and fin, and it'll pop up. So,
Boom.
but I'll shoot you the link, and I'll let you know when that's live, so you can let all your folks here know. And
Sounds
obviously,
good.
once we have it live, we'll have it all over paddle and fin as well.
Beautiful. Hey, guys, y'all have a great night.
Thanks, John.
Hey, so had these two beautiful, wonderful men from Wisconsin and our local Texan back on the show. Put out some great information tonight on fantasy fishing that Brian and his crew are working hard at. So shout out to Susie Q. You will not Susie Q me this time. I will be ready for you down there in Tennessee. I will get my fish right. I will not be the first person Susie Q'd. I definitely won't be the last person Susie Q'd. Susie Roloff. So guys, go look her up. Check her out on Facebook. Show her some love. She does a lot of work for the paddle and fin crew. So me, what am I doing? I am headed down tomorrow to Feel Free Kayaks headquarters. I'm taking the rest of the week off. I will be at their warehouse picking up a couple boats before I head over to Tennessee, where I will be working the Tennessee East Tennessee Fishing Show for a few days. So would love to see you there. If you are visiting the show at East Tennessee, I will be there, and I will do some live videos here at the Rusty Hook. I'm going to go around all of the booths that and just show you guys what they got going on down there. So you West Virginia guys, if you're not going to Charleston to the Civic Center for the Charleston show, hopefully I'll see you in Tennessee. And yes, Jody Queen, Susie is a stick. She knows her stuff. When you guys look at Susie's Facebook page, you'll see she is no stranger to catching some nice fish up where she's from there, I think in Illinois. So, but God bless you guys. We're going to end it up, and I will see you tomorrow and the rest of the week. Show you some live stuff from North Carolina and Tennessee.